For Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Ukraine's defense minister says his country has received the U.S.-made Patriot defense system, a surface-to-air guided missile system it has long requested to help shield Ukraine from Russian bombardment. The Patriot can target aircraft, cruise missiles, and shorter-range ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, the UK's Guardian is reporting a former Wagner mercenary told the publication he admitted to killing and torturing dozens of Ukrainian prisoners of war in what it described as one of the most detailed first-person accounts of atrocities committed by Russian forces in Ukraine. Alexei Savichev, a former Russian convict recruited by Wagner last fall, told The Guardian in a phone interview he participated in summary executions of Ukrainian prisoners of war during 6 months of fighting in eastern Ukraine. In Soledar, he said he participated in killing 20 Ukrainian soldiers who were surrounded, then sprayed with bullets. And in Bakhmut, he said he killed several dozen injured Ukrainian prisoners of war by tossing grenades into the ditch where they were held. He said, quote, "We would torture soldiers too. There weren't any rules," unquote. In Sudan, an internationally brokered ceasefire quickly fell apart Tuesday. Explosions and heavy gunfire rattled the Sudanese capital for a fifth day today, with no sign of changes. Civilians who have been locked down inside for days by the violence have begun to flee their homes. The United Nations says at least 296 people have been killed in the past 5 days, but the toll is likely higher since many bodies have been left in the streets unreachable because of clashes. Thousands have been wounded. In the U.S., Fox News has agreed to pay $787.5 million to Dominion Voting, settling the voting machine company's defamation lawsuit Tuesday. The settlement avoids a trial that was expected to further expose how the conservative network chased viewers by knowingly promoting lies that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from former President Donald Trump. Among the lies and phony conspiracies Fox News peddled were allegations the company's voting machines were rigged to fix votes for Trump to Joe Biden in 2020. Dominion President John Poulos and lawyer Justin Nelson said outside the courthouse the settlement represented vindication and accountability.
We have sought accountability and believe the evidence brought to light through this case underscores the consequences of spreading lies. Truthful reporting in the media is essential to our democracy.
Lies have consequences. The truth does not know red or blue. For our democracy to endure for another 250 years and hopefully much longer, we must share a commitment to facts.
In a statement issued after the announcement, Fox News said the network acknowledged the court's rulings, finding certain claims about Dominion to be false. Senate Republicans blocked Democrats' attempt to replace Senator Dianne Feinstein on the Senate Judiciary Committee as she's healing from a case of shingles and has been away from Washington since February. There's no timeline for her return. Several of President Biden's judicial nominees are languishing in the committee without her vote to move them to the Senate floor. Eileen Alfandary has more.
Republican Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell argued Democrats only want a fill-in so they can achieve the majority vote needed to push through what McConnell called extreme or unqualified federal judges.
Just so Democrats can force through their very worst nominees.
Silicon Valley Democrat Ro Khanna last week called on Feinstein to resign, saying it is unacceptable for her to miss votes to confirm judges who could be weighing in on abortion rights. The Nation magazine's national affairs correspondent Jeet Heer said there's a lot at stake.
We know that Trump really packed the courts with very right-wing judges, like the one in Texas who just tried to make the abortion pill illegal across the country. And the Democrats need to balance that. Even investigating Clarence Thomas, without Feinstein's vote, they won't be able to get subpoena power.
I'm Eileen Alfandary.
The Supreme Court is set to decide whether women will face restrictions in accessing mifepristone, a drug used in the most commonly method of abortion in the country, while a lawsuit continues. The justices are expected to issue an order today in a fast-moving case from Texas in which abortion opponents are seeking to roll back the FDA approval of the drug. The FDA approved it in 2000. The FDA has approved a booster COVID-19 vaccine for certain Americans at high risk for COVID. The Food and Drug Administration is allowing an extra dose of the Omicron targeted vaccine for anyone 65 years and older this spring, if it's been 4 months since their last shot. President Joe Biden signed an executive order to increase access to child care and improve the work life of caregivers Tuesday, but did not tie that to additional funding. Funding would come out of existing commitments, possibly including last year's financing infrastructure projects, the Inflation Reduction Act, and CHIPS Act. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.